Salut! In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the top 10 activities I've registered for expats moving to France in 2024. Every year, I register over 100 micro-entrepreneurs, which is a sole trader or sole proprietorship in France. And I also refer tons of other incorporated businesses to my favorite accountants. But today, we are focusing on micro-entrepreneurs only, as this is the easiest business type to create for expats. And good news also, it's also the easiest one to manage or to apply for a business visa for France. The nationality of those freelancers is very broad, from American, British, Australian, Canadian, German, Dutch, Danish, Italian, Polish, Romanian, Russian, and so on. Two disclaimers for this video. The first one is that this video is based only on expatriates, not on French nationals creating a business. I'll be recording another video on this topic soon because the stats are usually coming out around February. So make sure you subscribe to this channel to see which kind of business French people are creating. My second disclaimer is that the list is based on businesses that I have registered, not a national record of expatriates, but again, my sample of over 100 micro-entrepreneurs for just 2024, I think is significant. You can also download my 100 business ideas to freelance in France guide, which I have just updated for 2025. Now, this 100 ideas to freelance in France guide is based on the businesses that I have registered over 16 years. We are talking about over 1,000 businesses, sole traders, or incorporated businesses. This guide is for you if you want more ideas to help you brainstorm on your project. And in the 2025 edition, I've also added activities which are regulated, and this will have an impact both on your business visa application and at the business creation stage. I'm going to go through the list, and you might see that my eyes might go from one side to the other because I'm going to give you the top 10, but also a bit more detail about which kind of businesses we have. So the first one may not come as a surprise. The most popular activity to register as an expat in France are consultants. And this one is very broad. It's over 24% of the business creations, and this is very broad. You can go from a consultant specialized in something very large, like somebody working on an airplane for Airbus, to something super small, somebody specializing in research. And if I mention a few, so there might be some consultants in culture, the aerospace, HR, strategy, people working for ONGs, people working in tourism, sales consultants, strategy consultants. So this is the first one that we come across. And there are often these kind of activities are quite easy to use for a visa application. The second one is the one I regrouped as gîtes, Airbnbs, and retreats. So it may not come as a surprise to you either. Many people coming to France are buying a property, maybe a large property, and running it professionally. Now, this one is super important that in 2025, you look into the rules because it has changed since 2024. We have what we call the anti-Airbnb rules, which is starting to impact this. So it's very important that you get help to assess how you're going to be registering your business and what you need to add. So what changed over the years for gîtes, Airbnbs, and this is why I've added retreats, is that in France, we tend to consider a gîte more as a secondary source of income and not a main business. So most of the time, you have to look into adding some extra activities to make it acceptable as a business, and especially if you go for a business visa, because they might say, well, actually, a gîte is not enough to make an income, so you want to add more, unless your gîte is very large. So if I look into the gîtes, for instance, so those people doing retreats, I have a lot of gîte plus something. So I might have gîte plus brocante, gîte plus online shop, gîte plus conciergerie services, gîte plus Etsy shop, gîte with wedding events, gîte with cycling holidays, and so on. So it tends to be gîte plus something, and that's what I would push you to in 2025. Look into the retreats, and an easy way to find a retreat is that you look at your gîte activity, and then you also look into what you are passionate about. So if you're passionate about writing, you are an artist, you love cycling, you like golfing, you love analogy, you can write or you can organize team holidays outside of the peak season, which also help you to boost the booking and the income from your activity. The third activity on my top 10 is coach. And again, this one is super broad. Coach is a very popular activity to run. And I would say if I look at the details in the people that were listed as coach, is super broad. It could be life coach, it could be coaching for education for parents, it could be career, it could be about conjugal coach, it could be about sales, it could be about career, it could be about personal development and so on. So this one is again a very good one to create, and it's my top 3. Top 4, I've regrouped together the activities which come under marketing, communication, digital media and strategy, but we're looking into broader terms into marketing communication agencies. And if I look in the details, for there it could be creative agencies, brand and visual strategy, it could be media, digital media, it could be strategy, community manager, marketing, communication specialist, and so on. So this is also a very popular one. Top 5 on this list is training and education. So under this one, this is where we're finding all teachers, whether it's language, math, higher education, supporting students applying for universities abroad, science, French, English, and so on and so on. So this is still very popular. And also within this one, I start to see more online courses. So some people are having their activity or might have a main activity and slash doing the same thing with online courses. So you could be a coach with an online course. You might be a French teacher with an online course and so on. So in that case, when you do the online course is just an extra media to sell your activity. So it still comes under a teacher. The next one on our list, I've regrouped plenty of activities, but to me, they kind of go together. So we have video producer, content creators, content or script editors, YouTube, and also the new generation of influencers on those online platforms such as YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. So again, this one is pretty broad and it might include people who are specializing in writing script for videos or voiceovers or editing video, digital animations, film production or film support, pure content creators, people who have communities, as I mentioned, the YouTubers or OnlyFans or TikTokers and Instagram. So I would talk about them more as influencers, or people creating video content for very specific niche. Number 7 on this list, and this is the more manual services, so cleaning services, changeover services. So those are also an easy one to set up because they are not regulated. What I've seen a big change since Brexit, and now that people from the UK need to have carte de séjour entrepreneur, is that all the manual activities that are regulated, builders, roofer, tilers, and so on, it's more difficult to get into those. So I've seen far less of them compared to 4 or 5 years ago. But those cleaning services, conciergerie services, where you are handling the keys or doing the changeover or doing the admin for somebody else having a gîte, is easy to set up because it's not regulated and it's purely manual administrative services. You're doing it, for instance, in your area. If you have loads of expat properties but not living here, having somebody that they can rely on for conciergerie services is great because they will ask you to look after the property, come here when new guests are arriving, keep in touch with builders if something needs fixing and so on. So it's a very easy one to set up. Moving on to number 8 on our list are the sport teachers and wellness. So anything around yoga, surfing, Reiki, Feng Shui, all around the wellness sector is also a very popular activity. Number 9, I've regrouped the developers, programmers, and web design. So it's also a very popular activity to set up and not regulated either. So this one has been increasing. And finally, my top 10 is photographers. Now that might come to you as a surprise, as now we all have phones, we can take pictures, but actually professional photographers who are very specialized in their niche or in their sector are doing really well and still doing well. So for instance, whether they're working working for the press or working in the fashion sector, or whether they're working in tourism sectors or wedding photographers, those are still doing really well. Now, this was my top 10 for 2024. Let me know in the comment if your business idea was on this top 10. And hopefully, if you saw it there, that might reassure you. If you haven't found it, then it's time to go and get my 100 Ideas to Freelance in France guide so you can check extra activities that might inspire you and I've added the link in the description below the video. Now, if you found your idea, I would suggest that you watch this next video on the micro entrepreneur. As I mentioned in the introduction, this is the easiest business to set up and run in France. And believe me, when you move to France, you will have that many things to do that you want to keep it simple. And this will also give you more time to enjoy your new French lifestyle. Here's the link for the next video.